The market volatility we're seeing right now is not normal, in my view. The economy of the United States of America should not look like a Trump meme stock. And we know with Trump meme stocks that there are a group of insiders who are usually the ones benefiting. I think it's 22 of the crypto wallets made money on the Trump meme stuff, while like 50,000 people ended up losing money. So when I see this in our markets, it really pisses me off. And then layer on top of that all the unusual trading patterns around when Trump announces tariffs, when he takes off the tariffs. You see all of this activity that at least resembles insider trading. And then it pisses me off to no end when you see that members of Congress are involved in trading these stocks and making huge amounts of money off it and doing weird trades that would never otherwise exist unless you had some knowledge about what the heck was taking place. And we showed the photo there of Marjorie Taylor Greene, a rapacious stock trader all of a sudden. But look, let's be clear. It's a bipartisan issue. In my view, I think that public servants should be public servants. And so even though MAGA Mike Johnson has, he's claimed to some extent that he's against stock trading by members of Congress, I guess, but who knows what the hell he says is true or not. But then he gave this weird press conference also where he said, well, I don't like the stock trading, but I have sympathy. I get it. Members of Congress, they're not making enough money. They need this. They need stock trading. I get it. Here's what he said. Let's play it.
Well, look, the salary of Congress has been frozen since 2009. When you adjust for inflation, a member of Congress today is making 31% less than they made in that year. It goes down every year. And over time, if you stay on this trajectory, you're going to have less qualified people who are willing to make the extreme sacrifice to run for Congress. It's just people just make a reasonable decision as a family on whether or not they can come and move to Washington, have a residence here, residence at home, and do all the things that are required. So the counter argument is, and I have some sympathy, look, at least let them engage in some stock trading so that they can continue to take care of their family.
What? Let's bring in Senator Mark Kelly from Arizona, who today, along with Senator Ossoff, introduced the Ban Congressional Stock Trading Act as well. Tell us about everything.
Well, Ben, let me start off by saying I have zero sympathy. Zero. Mike Johnson is Speaker of the House. He can work to raise the salary of members of Congress. These things are totally unconnected. When you're in this job, you get enormous access to information. I sit on the Armed Services and the Intelligence Committee. There are people on the Ag Committee that know what's going on with crops and cattle and could use that information to trade futures. I do believe there is somebody that sits on the Senate Ag Committee, I'm not going to name names here, but does actually trade future contracts for agricultural products. So with this access to information, I imagine there is a temptation by members of Congress to use this information to gain, to just build their wealth. And that is not right. That's not information that the general public has. I get the issue that Mike Johnson has with the salaries of members of Congress. He is the Speaker of the frickin' House of Representatives, and he could do something about that. And I think there should be something done. Folks that have been here for a long time, because of inflation, their buying power has been reduced. I'm sympathetic to that argument. So Senator Ossoff and I, reintroduced our legislation to basically compel the rest of Congress to do what the two of us do. And that's putting your assets into a blind trust where you don't have the ability to use any of the information you have to make money because of your job. We're supposed to be public servants here. And Senator Ossoff and I take this very seriously. You could also diversify and, so there's another option there too. But we want this to be the rule for all 535 members of Congress. In the Senate, as far as I know, it's just the two of us that have taken these steps. In the House, I'm not sure how many people. But this needs to happen. And there is bipartisan support for this.
We see what's going on with the House, though, and the budget, and we see what's going on, with some of your colleagues in the Senate. The focus seems to be I don't know, cruelty seems to be the point with this budget. And I guess enriching the billionaires.
And I think the second part is really the point. I think it's the enriching the billionaires. It's making sure that they don't have to pay more taxes if Donald Trump's 2017 tax cuts went away. And these are the guys that are supposed to be, the fiscal conservatives. They're going to add trillions of dollars of debt, to the deficit and ultimately to the national debt in order to put more money in the pockets of rich people. The cruelty part comes in where they're trying to make it not look so bad. Instead of adding 6 trillion, it'll be only 4 trillion. So they can feel a little bit better about it. But to do that, they're going to kick people off their health care. And kids aren't going to get meals. I mean, that's the cruel part, is hungry kids are going to continue to go hungry. So rich people can pay less in taxes. And I'll say this, Ben, I had some teachers in here today with some kids from schools in Arizona. And these teachers pay a higher percentage of their income in federal taxes than many, many billionaires and millionaires. I mean, Warren Buffett is a guy who pointed this out all the time. His secretary paid a higher percentage of taxes than he did. And I think that's true, and it's a problem, and we got to fix it. They're doing the opposite thing here. They're making this situation worse.
There was a moment, I don't know if it was a month or so ago, where Donald Trump had some tech billionaires in the Oval Office, and he was asked a question about profiting off of his own meme coins. And he looked at the billionaires and he said, well, they're very rich. Why shouldn't I be rich? And it feels like these MAGA Republican Congress members who hang out at Mar-a-Lago see all these billionaires and doing all the things that they're doing and saying, you know what? Me too. I deserve that as well. Look at what I'm doing for them. I want to be rich like them. And the greed trickles down to all of the MAGA Republicans, but the wealth doesn't trickle down to the rest of the Americans.
No, and a lot of envy, I think, among these billionaires. I mean, we have a whole different class of billionaires now. It used to be if you were worth $1 billion or $2 billion or $3 billion, you were incredibly wealthy. Now we have folks that are worth 50, 60, 100, $150 billion and more. I mean, Elon Musk is somewhere north of that. I don't keep track of how rich the guy is, or Zuckerberg or others are just so incredibly wealthy that I think there's a lot of envy from the poorer billionaires. The reality of the situation is that the wealth has moved from, predominantly the people around the middle income in our country used to own an enormous amount of wealth collectively. And a lot of that wealth has been transferred to the people in the top 0.1%. It's not sustainable. It means the buying power of people in the middle has gone down dramatically. These are folks that are having to deal with rising costs. Billionaires don't have to deal with, the price of groceries going up or housing. It doesn't matter to them. And this trend is unsustainable. Billionaires can pay more in taxes. They can do it right now. And then we don't have to kick kids off of their health care. And we can continue to give them free lunch in school when they can't afford to bring lunch money. So that's what we're talking about here. It's taking money, physically taking money from the people that can least afford it and putting it in the pockets of the wealthiest Americans. And that's just not right.
John. Well, I got to ask you a national security question, of course, which is Trump's trip to the Middle East. I think just a stain on the United States, what he was doing in Qatar and United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. We know that the Pentagon formally accepted the free gold-plated Qatari jet. But we're even seeing with the president of South Africa, President Ramaphosa, who was in the Oval Office today, basically saying, I'm sorry that I can't get you a jet if that's going to influence you, and just seeing how it is that the international community is now perceiving us. seeing China hosting that meeting last week with the Latin American and Caribbean countries, projecting itself now as a stabilizing force and speaking the way America once spoke, as America under Trump sounds like China used to speak. And me as an American saying, what the hell is happening here? It's gone upside down. What's your observations of it from all the national security experience you have?
Well, you're right, Ben. The big problem is China's going to step into this vacuum. A place where we were the most, ethical. We were the leaders of the free world. We helped other countries when they were in need. It didn't cost us a tremendous amount of money. We fed starving kids on the other side of the planet just because they were starving. And the programs that I was in South Africa last year, and President Bush's PEPFAR program has saved more lives than probably any federal government program the United States government has ever supported. It was George Bush's program. And it provided medication, and it kept babies from being born HIV positive. That program's ended because of Elon Musk and Donald Trump right now. And kids are starving around the world because they don't think we should support these programs. And that gives a wide opening for the Chinese. On the question of the airplane, yeah, I mean, I saw the Ramaphosa press conference in the Oval Office, and I thought it's wrong. To put this guy on the spot, in the way, and I don't know if the president put him on the spot or he just brought it up. But yeah, he can't bribe the president with a $400 million airplane. Only Qatar or the UAE or Saudi Arabia or maybe some other countries can do that. You got to call it what it is. It is a gift to a president outside of our laws. We have ethics laws that do not allow this. And these countries are going to expect something from it.
Senator Mark Kelly, keep us posted on the developments with the bill that you had there, and always you're invited back on whenever. We love having you on and hearing your wealth of experience.
All right. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it.
All right, everybody, hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.